The Israeli retaliation the world has been braced for came today as a missile strike hit the Lebanese capital Beirut. Israel claimed it was a targeted operation and they've killed the Hezbollah commander behind Saturday's deadly attack on the Golan Heights. This has not yet been confirmed by Hezbollah. Both the US and the UK had urged Benjamin Netanyahu not to target Beirut.
In Beirut's southern suburbs, the aftermath of a strike from the air on Hezbollah's stronghold. This was the retaliation Israel had warned of after 12 children were killed when a rocket hit the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights at the weekend. It came as night fell in Lebanon. The target, a senior military commander, the Israelis believe was responsible for planning that attack. Those close by at the time described two hits, one immediately following the other, suggesting a drone strike rather than an airstrike. The target was this man, Fuad Shakur. He had a $5 million bounty on his head from the Americans after the 1983 attack in Beirut, which killed 241 US service personnel. His fate is not yet clear, but 3 were killed, including 2 children, with another 70 people injured in this highly populated neighbourhood, a known Hezbollah sanctuary. There had been an expectation Israel's retaliation would come soon, prompting days of diplomacy, urging restraint.
A direct hit in Beirut was the red line that the US and UK governments had said they had warned the Israelis not to cross. This is a direct hit on Beirut. Quite what the consequences will be is not yet clear. Will this be something that Hezbollah accept, have a single retaliation and leave it at that? Or will this be the catalyst for the out-of-control war that has been so feared for so many months?
The strike itself was targeted and precise. Its consequence has the potential to be far-reaching and more harmful.
And Emma joins us from Beirut tonight. So ratcheting up the tension yet again as the world looks on. Emma, what do you think might happen next?
Hezbollah have been very clear over the previous days that should Israel strike on them, they will definitely strike back. So I think that if confirmed, and the Israeli military say it is the case, that they have managed to kill this very senior Hezbollah commander, Hezbollah themselves will retaliate one way or the other. Of course, everybody seems to be talking about red lines, and all the time people seem to be crossing them, and that is the really big issue here, because the threat is of something going horribly wrong, of a miscalculation, of everybody accepting through backroom deals and sort of quiet conversations that they'll only have one hit here, one hit there, and then everything will be absolutely fine. But we've seen how incredibly precarious that line is, not least at the weekend with the death of those 12 children. So that is what makes this situation so incredibly tricky. And I would suggest that probably the worst that could have happened has happened this evening in Beirut. There's not a feeling that there's going to be any more hits. The real threat is likely to be more in Israel. But also bear in mind that we have US bases not far from here in Iraq and in Syria. I would think that they are probably having a pretty nervous night, waiting to see what happens with Iran's proxies, who have targeted them in the past and are very likely to pick up the pace again of those targeted attacks on their locations.